Morning lives. This one is a little bit different of a day. This is the spring equinox. So I'm just letting people join in. Try not to speak too much too quickly because we have to wait for people to get in and fill up the room. So just give me a moment here and let everyone come, let people start coming in. Um, See, we have one. It is a Saturday morning. Not everybody is up and going, or if it's later in the day in other parts of the world, I guess people are outside and doing their thing and enjoying this nicer weather of the spring equinox. I just noticed my clip is falling out of my hair. Good morning, Linda Green and Shauna. Good morning, Joanne. Good morning. Welcome. We are going to do a little bit of a blessing into the spring equinox here this morning. So welcome. I'm so thankful to have everybody here with me. And Edie, good morning. Just watching the room fill up with some people. Good morning to everybody who is watching and not commenting. It's so nice to see everybody here. You don't have to comment to know that I know you're here. I can feel your energy. And so as you quietly watch and you sit back and you observe and listen to the whole broadcast, then you also are receiving the same love that everyone else is getting in here this morning. Just realized my shirt's really low. Good morning, Cheyenne. Good morning, Judy. Good morning, Monica. Good morning, everyone who's joining in. I'm looking down my phone because I can see the watching. I can see everything from my phone. And yes, hi from Alberta to all my people in Newfoundland. Back in my home. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. My legs are numb this morning. Good morning, Carol. Okay. All right. Yes, so this is recording. You'll be able to come back and watch this one again later. It will be on Facebook and on YouTube. Both will be here. All of these videos are always on YouTube as well as being on Facebook. So it's easy in YouTube, they're so well organized. So I just want to get some people in here, and the room has filled up a fair bit. So I want to start. What I've been picking up now. This morning, I've been really, truly channeling through a whole lot about peace, happiness, and my level 4 group from More Than Existing last night we're learning all about their happiness last night and our connection to the divine. You're welcome, Linda. And so we have all this information overload that's been happening in around us, and we have a lot of that energy that's been all about contributing to choose this side, choose that side. Well, as everybody who follows me knows, that I try to stay that middle road, that middle ground. Doesn't mean I don't have a thought of you, but my work and who I am and my integrity is all about that middle road. And so there's some magic and that I can't explain. I don't know how, I don't know why, but there's something more magical. And my hope and my dreams and my wishes is that everybody can start to believe a little bit more in that. If we slow down, if we start to look around us, if we start to see ourselves as a miracle, then we can start to see ourselves as a little more worthy of a more beautiful life. These cards that I've created, which are the Everyday Goddess Oracle cards. This is not the newest copy, by the way, which I also forgot to bring up on the screen. So you can see the box cover on my wall behind me in the pink. It is the Everyday Goddess Oracle, which is also a little bit of a paradox because the little girl has wings, so she's angel. So the cards are very much infused with angelic love as well. They are masculine and feminine, even though they are very feminine. We all have a feminine energy and we all have a masculine energy. We all have that chi. We have that life force energy. And if you start to look at yourself more in beyond the one-dimensional view, it stopped taking the world so personally that the world is out to get us, or the world is causing, our misery that we often have ourselves placed in, is that then we can start to look beyond. And a lot of my work in the second book, which I don't really talk a lot about, anymore. And it's my second book is called Beyond the Reflection. And that's my level 2 of my More Than Existing program, is Beyond the Reflection. It is from the soul out. And you may have seen my post this morning about the second series of the Goddess Within training. Well, that training is about soul talk. It is about using the soul language and being able to use soul talk to be able to help guide you through making your life changes, your decision. The healer within you is that soul talk conversation. When you learn to listen, when you learn to navigate through all of this energy by really questioning some of the things that you are experiencing hearing. So when I left here, hello to everybody who's joining in. When I left here yesterday, I had to rush out, and the card was the card that was the day before that was that she is the everyday miracle. So when I shuffled yesterday's card, it was the same card came out again. It was the everyday miracle. And that was number 44. I went to get my nails done yesterday, to get my nail fixed, that broken nail I had. So I went to get my nails fixed yesterday. And when I went to get my nails fixed, I was sitting down and I looked up at the TV, and it was a TV series that had Mother Mary in the storyline. And I started to laugh, and I'm like, really, Divine Mother, you're even here to remind me. And so then a woman was also there getting her feet done. And she had very bad feet, and, not bad as in bad for a pedicure, but she had nerve ending stuff. And we got talking, and then she sat to get her nails done in front of me. And when she put her purse down, it had a sparkly cross with a diamond right in the middle of it, which all represents like my work and the crossroads. And I'm like, and there's the messages, right? About self-care, about self-love, about caring for yourself. Yesterday, after I was finished here, a lot of shitty things went down in my world. And you've probably seen it on my Facebook. You've probably seen it on my Instagram about my identity trying to be stolen. And the people just like, and normally, like, even 6 months ago, a year ago, that would have eaten the shit out of me. I would have been like a mess. I would not have gone to get my nails done. I would have been stuck to this computer. I would have been an absolute mess. But I have faith that somebody out there and all of the people that I have within my world know me well enough to know that I'm not going to send you those messages, number one. And that to also know to reach out to me. The messages came in like crazy. Corey, this is happening. Have you seen this? And I could not get to it because I couldn't find it anywhere. And so in that message that I was receiving and getting, I realized something of how supported and loved I really am by people that are in my world, and how everybody, so many people around me now have my back. And instantly people start to report that. But that's how manipulative the world is. And why can not being ourselves be enough? Why do we have to set out to destroy somebody else? And I watched a very beautiful, well done video that was done by, and I watch all sides, like I don't. And so as I watched this beautiful video the other day, this woman had spoken about how we are being shredded, how people are shredding our identities, how people are shredding us based on a word taken the wrong way, about misunderstandings, about how people have their own perception of a word, how you say a word. And so words like I can't even say them on here because you know what, we get flagged. And so those words that come up that talk about us being either racist or those type of things are really like any words that you're using, depending on where people are in their own heads and their own hearts, they will perceive you and they will create a story and a message all based around there, which is very unfair. So this beautiful video I watched really truly was about, before the war, before a big part of the world had a motive to, and a motive to manipulate and destroy my integrity and take away my dignity, I was a mom. I was a wife. I was a happy woman. I laughed. I love to joke. I am easygoing. I'm all of these things. But the world outside of me has made it their mission to try to cancel and destroy me. So they have created this identity, this whole identity of who they call me. So that's what the shadow cards talk about. That's about our attitude. So we have the power within us and our imagination and our ability, our free will to be able to create and manipulate any story in this world the way that we want it to go to serve our personal needs, what we want to happen in the world. Well, channel, mystic, we don't get to do that. And so we can, and you see it a lot of people trying to manipulate the energy, trying to shift the energy. So you see it trying to change astrology, trying to change someone's words. I can't change the energy of this. And so the beautiful journey that I went on this morning was such an amazing journey. And I found myself working through this energy in prayer with a sister. She's a sister and she's from Italy somewhere. And she showed up on my live and not my live. She showed up in one of my feeds and I spent like an hour listening to her broadcast. And I was so, she was repeating my words, but through the mouth of a sister. And she just outright and said, that embodying light and love needs to come from people of all walks of life, all different views, all different races, all different cultures, so that we can all start to embody that love and light, and we can all start to speak the same language. And she said to be converted, to allow ourselves to be converted, is to find our way, is to change our direction, to change our thoughts, to scaling up our words, to speaking more positive, to finding language that is more positive and more supportive of dignity and of humanity, that we are all not going to be of the same. We're all going to be very different. And so that all fell in alignment with every message I received last night as I was sleeping about truly understanding what peace means and where peace comes from. We are all human. Exactly. And so when we look at that, and good morning, everybody who's joining in. Welcome to my Saturday morning. I'm a little bit excited about this one because there's just such love in the air of it. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the world is going to become absolute peace yet. I have a whole channeled message that I will put on YouTube later today about this. But what we are looking at and what the spring equinox is about, springing more into being willing to change our direction, change our view. Turn off the freaking TV. If nobody watches the news will want to change direction as well if they realize nobody's listening. So this morning, the other thing on the flip side of that, I seen this very negative report about making fun of a mom who's a stay-at-home mom, and this was in Australia somewhere. And literally, the 3 people on this news station were making fun of this stay-at-home mom for saying about how she loves to pack. She said it's her job. Like that's what she loves to do. She loves to care for her family. So she packs lunches. She gets up and makes breakfast for her husband. She helps everybody in the house. Like she helps get their clothes ready. She loves to be there and nurture her family. And everybody on those people on that news station made horrible fun of that woman as if she wasn't a human being, as if she didn't exist, as if they just discounted everything about the loving person. They don't know that woman. And they laughed at her. They criticized her. They judged her. It was such an ugly experience. That's that dark energy that we do that to ourselves. We do that in our own shadows. When we truly start to allow ourselves to be laughed at, we use humor to mask our pain. And it is awful, awful, awful that we use humor to mask our pain. And so so we suppress, so we make fun of people as they look at me. I would never be that kind of woman and da, 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 da. And you will make fun of another woman who makes the choice to be that. Shame. Right? There's what are you so afraid of in your own existence, in your own identity, that you have to take another human being and you have to squish, 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 squish? Why do we want to do that? I'm from a beautiful industry where I have seen women be belittled like this, including my own self, where just because one person was afraid of everything they just spewed out, now kind of coming back out because they know they just told all their truth, and they're afraid of their own truth being exposed. They're afraid of their own truth being exposed, so they destroy somebody else. That's not what we're here to do. So I went back to the sister. I went back to the beautiful nun and I listened to her and I remembered being that little girl. And I remember my time of playing in the frog pond in the convent yard. And I'm not Catholic. My mom is. I'm not. And so I went back into to being that little girl in that convent and how I would reach up and touch the statues and they would be cold, but there would be such love. And I'd look up and I'd smile. Well, it's the same thing as climbing the mountain of life. Do you want to keep looking down of where you used to be? Do you want to keep looking down at that trench, or do you want to stay stuck in that valley and think that you can never ever get out and never ever look up? To get up, to rise up means that you can't go straight up, is that we have to go around. And as we go around, it gives us an opportunity to look ahead, to that we have to stay focused, that we have to stay focused on the forward thinking, moving towards. But you get to observe all the different views as you go around. What looks like what you see on one side of the mountain is not what you're going to see on the other side of the mountain, because there's always this block that is blocking you from being able to see something on the other side. Ego is the biggest thing that is blocking us from being able to see on the other side. So when we allow ourselves to start to be able to see on the light, on the side that we are looking, that if we look to one side, we'll see the dark. If we look to the other side, we'll see a view. If we look straight ahead, we'll see horizons. And when we see horizons, we see perspective. We see possibilities. We see opportunities. That's where we start to see success, that I want to walk towards the horizon. We can never get to the horizon. We can never get to the end of that. We can never know what's always over there, but we can start to believe and we can start to dream. So this equinox is about dreaming of that possibility, that we can see peace in the world. But first and foremost, we have to bring peace into here. And peace is not in the fact that today your kids are going to clean the room. It's not in the fact that you have that roof over your head. It's not in the fact that the material world is providing you comfort, because you can have all the comfort in the world. You can have all the money in the world. You can have everything, and your foundation can still be so weak that it crashes and it falls and it collapses because you depended on the material world, the one-dimensional world, to really provide for you everything that you wanted to see happen within you. And so it means finding peace within, which means letting go. It means really truly being able to forgive. Why are you still angry at the kid who stole your marbles? Why are you still disgusted with the little kid that picked their nose in school and you still called them the awful person? Examples. Why are you still angry at the mom who would not buy you new shoes at 5 years old? Why are you still angry at the first boyfriend who ever hurt you, the first girlfriend? Why are those things still having that much control over you? And you may say they're not, but if you are still being triggered by the fact that you can't trust somebody, that nobody understands you, that nobody gets you, that I can't find the right person, nobody ever, nobody understands that I need this and I need that, and I need a partner who's going to give me this and give me that. Well, that's some pretty freaking high expectations. And so you're seeking and searching for the outside world to provide that sense of peace for you. It's like that peace. And so all of this world, even during a pandemic, even during everything that's going on, and I'm not saying everything's going on is being done correctly, because I know, because I am a prophetess. I have that ability. I'm a seer. Remember, I can see beyond. And so that's the beauty of my work, is that I can see beyond the mask of what people wear when they show up and try to present to me that this is my truth, but the world is out to get me. No, it's not your truth. We become so used to how we present ourselves to the world, how we create that image to present ourselves, that is what we believe to be true, until we find out something different. And then we have to question ourselves, or until we start to crack, until something causes us to crack, to break. And I've cracked on live. I've cracked in this work more times than I can count, because I always said I am exposing my truth and I'm doing the healing work that I need to do. I realized how healed I am, how far I have come. I'm not there. I'm not God. And so I realized how far I've come when yesterday, when all of that happened to me, I did not go overboard. I did not get triggered. I stopped, I paused, I still went and got my nails done. I'm like, I can only do what I can do from my end. And that's pray, that's ask my guardians to help me, and to ask everybody who's in my world to also help me fix this today. And reach out to Facebook. And that's all I could do. And everything else I had to surrender over. And I had to put it in the hands of God. And today and every day, that's what I do with my life. I put everything into the hands of God, and I keep walking up that mountain. I keep walking around that mountain. Yes, it hurts. No, it's not easy. And everybody wants to go from 0 to 360 without having to do the work in between. And that's the world that we have created. Impulsive. Make your decision right now. They want you to make that decision right now so that you'll make the decision that's impulsive, that's made from the trigger response, that's made from your fear. If you give yourself, hey, why don't you give yourself a few days to think about that decision? Why don't you give yourself a little bit of time to process that thought? Whatever happened to that? Right? It's like now. No, here's what we have. Here's what's happening. We don't even teach that in schools anymore. We teach based on, not we, but there's a system that now bases on a one viewed perspective. And why do we not have children questioning and researching and discovering? And why is it that we are also taking all of this out of the world, like where we don't have a view? So even in searches and fact checking, it's all somebody's personal view that is the one that we are led to believe. Why can we not view everything? Right? And so that's the beauty of walking around the mountain instead of trying to climb the mountain, or instead of being stuck on one side. If you keep going, you'll realize how you can really truly start to keep looking at the horizon, keep moving forward, and to stop, right? And so, yes. And so in the picture, that's the other thing. If you look at the picture that I posted today, it doesn't just have me walking around the mountain. If you look down in the corner of the picture that I posted today, it has me sitting on the rocks. It has me sitting to enjoy. I'm literally sitting, and it's down in the corner, because as much as you are taking that journey, you also have to pause, to reflect, to look at where you have been. You can look back through that journey, but you don't have to keep going back down. You don't have to go back down that mountain. You don't have to keep going back down into that valley to remember where you have been. You live with knowing where you have been. You have experienced it once. You have been through it. It's not about going back into it. It's about knowing that it has happened. So about being able to surrender over the pain, which is Jules, is that you need to be able to have a place where you can surrender over. And that takes pausing. And that's where peace comes in. We can make peace when you take the time to stop running, to stop trying to get to the top, to stop trying to be something, to stop trying to prove something, to stop trying to convince everybody of your story, your truth, to trying to convince people that you're right. And it's like, why do you need to convince people that you are right? If you're trying to convince the world that you're right, well, you are questioning a whole lot within yourself, because you're also trying to convince you. And so the first card that we have today is the Sephiroth of Pain. I can never say it. And so come up with these words and can't say it, right? And so this is Jules, and in the hand. So your guardians today, the guardians that are coming through, the guardians that are from the other world, are really truly, and the guardians understand what it's like to live up on this world, upon this earth. And they're telling us that, they've been observing us. We've been observed, and they're telling us that they have the wisdom, and we have a lot of human knowledge, without a doubt. But ancient wisdom is to be perceived, is to be absorbed, And if you allow yourself to absorb that wisdom, that comes in perspectives. That comes into learning the soul language. When you learn soul language and you learn to talk from soul, you learn to connect to ancient wisdom. And when you can learn to connect to ancient wisdom instead of one-dimensional, instead of the news stations and everybody with an opinion, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And for some reason, we have the world becoming more of that. And so when you can allow these beautiful guardians and learn the soul language, we can start to bring love into the picture. So our spring equinox, the blessing, my blessing is that today and over the weekend that you take some time, whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, no matter what it is, snowing, I don't care. It's warm inside. And I don't mean warm inside your house. I mean, it is warm inside of here. As much as you believe you have gone cold, as much as you may believe your heart has hardened, as much as you believe the world may be against you, that inside of here, it is warm. There is something inside of here that is waiting for you to come home. This is where peace is. You bring your suffering to your heart to acknowledge it, but not to lay more burdens upon your heart and upon your shoulders. You have to ask for that help. So today and every day, over this weekend, it's a practice of being aware of when. Hello there. Hello. So all these cards in my mornings, these cards are for everybody today. I do share cards in the morning too, but right this moment, this card is for everybody. Because this is the spring equinox blessing that I'm giving to everybody today. And so my blessings that I was asked to give this morning was of understanding happiness and to bring our awareness to how we achieve that happiness. And it's going to the warmth by coming home to us and by allowing ourselves to close our eyes and bringing our eyeballs up. So these are tools that we actually do. And when you take that moment today to sit peacefully with self, is that I ask of you to lay your hands upon your heart and feel the warmth in your hands, and to also take, oh God, here comes our little, caught it. There goes one of our spammers of the morning. So please, if you get a friend request from me saying it's me, it's not me. I will not send you friend request ever. If a spammer pops up here offering you an amazing deal, or if you get an emailed message saying, oh, sign up here, do this, or give me money, don't, because I will never, ever ask you of that. I will post any classes I have coming, and then it's up to you whether or not you go into Corey School of Magic to sign up. Don't ever, ever accept those friend requests. Don't ever hit those spam buttons. Yeah, I got it. I caught the spam. And so these are all assholes that keep trying to get in and trying to do this stuff. Don't click on it at all. Because I did just ban that spammer. It'll be every day as soon as the videos come up. Yeah. And so this peace and happiness is when you close your eyes and you take that moment, you keep your eyes closed, and with your eyes closed, you take your eyeballs and you look up, like being a kid, just like childlike energy. You know, when you want to cross your eyes and you want to cross your eyes and bring your eyes up. So it's just like cross your T's and dot your I's. That's exactly what we're doing. We're crossing the T's and we're dotting the I's, right? We're locking this in. We're locking in a healing energy that allows you to spiritually mature into being able to recognize where and how we get taken from happiness and peace outside of ourselves by being caught up in the world where we have a lot of people that look like adults but have more spiritual and emotional immaturity, which we don't know, which we don't recognize, because we've always been told to just grow up, become an adult, and go get an education, go get a job. But most of those times we're being spiritually and mature, and we've been spiritually, emotionally matured by a world that was not really matured, and not everybody, but a lot. And so often that, because their fears and insecurities were telling you that you had to be afraid of the world, or that you had to become an adult and what you need to become as an adult. So just because we look like adults don't mean we act like adults. And we see a whole lot of it in the world right now. Just because we look like adults don't mean we act like it. So this blessing, this healing today is truly about locking in on that warmth, that love, that happiness that is within, so that we can start this shift, because there is a big shift in the energy today. There is a big shift in the planets today. But with that big shift also comes that whole, well, Corey said that everything's going to be good. And I'm saying, no, That's not what I said. I said that there is still things to come. But if you are spiritually and emotionally mature, that you know how to respond and react as you start to do the healing work on you, is that you have your thoughts, you have yourself organized, so you don't run around in the clutter. You don't run around in the clutter trying to find a fire extinguisher to put out the fire when you don't remember where you put it, because now you're panicking. So you don't panic. You don't feel like you have to be impulsive. You don't feel like you have to respond to something right away. You don't feel like you have to be a keyboard freaking warrior today. You don't feel like you have to take down the world today. You don't feel like you have to conquer the world today. It's about allowing yourself to sit peacefully. So with the eyes closed, we close the eyes, we bring it up like a childlike energy, and we look up with our eyes closed, and we bring it to our third eye, which is right here. So while you're bringing that attention, now the healing energy is we're bringing attention behind the eyes, in behind the temples, and right into the back of the eyes, right into the center of the brain, and we're bringing it into these amazing little glands that get blocked and get closed off because of the world, because of the energy, because of they get calcified and stress. So it builds up this excessive amount of stress hormones in our body. And right now, this whole world, for the past year or more, whenever you're going through anything that caused you to kind of be out of balance, those stress hormones are like in. So you have like these fireworks of energy that's been going off for a long time, as if we've been, just because we got a house, we feel safe. But every time you put that mask on, every time you walk out and you're reminded, every time you got to go, you're waiting on a list to get vaccines, no matter what it is, every time things are closed down, there's no money coming in, there's a lot of people not making money. All those things are stress hormones. And we're overactivated and we are overstimulated, and it is also parts of the plan to cause people to listen to us, right? Like, listen to us out here in the human world. We're trying to tell you that we know what's best for you. So we know what's best for you. So you better start listening to us, because we'll tell you. It's like the wintertime when the news station tells you to put a hat and mitts on because it's cold outside, or they tell you should put a winter jacket on today because it's cold. I believe I might have a system inside of me that will tell me that truth. Wow, imagine that if we go back to thinking for ourselves. So in here, as we start to open this, we start to bring forth a beautiful healing energy that allows you to drop back down into your heart. And we drop back down to our heart, and then we drop down below the heart. We're going to go into the power center of us. And this is where that beautiful golden light is. And when we have that essence of that beautiful beaming sun, now we want you to breathe up. And as you breathe up, you're going to bring the awareness to the moon. And so when you look at the moon phases and where the moon is coming from, we don't have a full moon until the 28th. So between the 20th and 28th, we have 8 days now. So we have an infinity hoop. So we're going to bring awareness to an infinity hoop, that between today, which is actually returning into a 0 degrees, which brings us to wholeness, is that between now and the full moon, we have a wholeness to complete. We have a journey to take. And so we have the 7 major chakras within the body. Above that, we have the 8th chakra. So even the crown chakra of you, even though it's connection to spirit, it still has you, because it's still touching you. It's still within you. So we are trying to become that God of our own lives. We're trying to become that of everything for ourselves. And we have the essence of that God light within us. So we have the ability inside of us to become that God for ourselves, to think for ourselves, to know what is right for ourselves, to be able to use our own thought process, to be able to know that the most powerful thing that we have, I call it like the equator, it is called free will. It is the teeter-totter, right? And so you have the positive, you have the negative. You always have these two views. Well, right in the center of any teeter-tottering energy is the core, which is the heart center, which is the weight that balances it. And so why would you keep teeter-tottering when you can sit in the middle? You can even stand in the middle, and you can put your feet. Remember being a kid on a teeter-totter, right? It's like you go up and down, but if you get in the middle and you stand strong, the courageous one would get in the middle, other people be afraid. And as they went up and down, you would hold your balance. You're centered. So I can listen to this, I can listen to that, but I'm right here. And that's where I live my life, right here in this middle. So I want you right now, as you breathe in and you breathe out, we're going to connect to that power center right here. And that our love of power when we are unhealthy and ego-based can allow us to want to be in control, manipulate, the motive to get our own way, those type of things. The power of love, when you look at it from the God consciousness with unconditional, without any motive, no judgment, no criticism, no nothing, brings us back into peace. So to bring peace within starts with stop criticizing yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself. Stop being fearful of what is out of your control. There's a lot of things that are out of our control that we can't change. And if we continue to be so fearful of it, instead of saying, you know what, I think I'm okay to start researching whether or not I'm in alignment with this and if this suits me. I think I'm okay that I'm going to go for a walk today and take my mask off and walk around the park. I'm not going to have to wear my mask around the park. When I see children coming from school and they're walking home all by themselves and they still got their mask on, I realize how we are so easily conditioned. And then they get home and they go into their house and then they take the mask off and then all the kids go out and play. I'm watching it all day long, right? And so go to school, put the mask on because it's rule, and I'm not telling you to take your mask off. I don't know what's right. I'm not a doctor. But I'm just telling you that when you're walking home alone, that we have become so conditioned that you forget you're wearing that mask. That when you're walking home alone, you can probably take that mask off, right? And so today, take the mask off, go for a walk alone, sit with yourself, come home, find that peace within. So now breathe that energy all the way from here. So imagine as if you have this golden thread. And as you breathe in, you breathe out. This is activating. This is working on its own. We don't need you to do anything else. Let your eyes drop. Let your eyes relax. Once you do that, once you do a quick little drop up, drop down, and then you're going to breathe. And as you're going to breathe in, you're going to see this golden thread that's going to start as if it's being threaded. It's going to be threaded as if there's a little needle that threads right here, right in the power center. And then we're going to thread it up through the heart. And as you go in through the front of the heart, you're going to go out through the back. So in through the front, out through the back, and then back in again through the back of the neck, and then out through the front, and then in again through the third eye, out through the back of the head, and then in through the very, very top of the crown. And as you do, this golden thread now comes down and ties, and we tie it right here. We bring it back home. So we allow then our higher self to start connecting. And as we do this, I'm going to instill what we call the 8th chakra, which is a few feet above your crown chakra. This is the energy above you. So out and above, that whole connection to a higher self that is not linked to your emotions, not linked to your stories, that is a place of unconditional love. And we ask for that unconditional love to shower in, beautiful as if spring showers. Spring showers wash away the dirt. It washes away the winter residue, the snow mold. We're asking for that spring shower of beautiful energy to shower over you today. And as that showers over the front, the back, the sides, the showers of the sprinkles of that beautiful energy that's going even underneath your feet, washes the ground that you walk on, washes around your whole aura, your whole energy, and it cleanses so that you can gain some clarity today, so that you can find some peace today, so that you can feel that peace, and we can be tied in, and we can allow this hormone, this stress to come down, calm the stress, bring the stress down. And as you take a deep breath in and you breathe out, feel that. Because the one thing you cannot do when you're taking a breath, you can't think about your bad day when you're taking a breath, because every bit of focus, every bit of power is in the breath. And so when you're breathing that in and breathing it out, you can't do both. You can't do both at the same time. So it takes you away. It's like Calgon. I probably shouldn't say those words, but it takes you away. So it's like that commercial from years ago. And so it takes you away from everything else, and it brings you right into you today, right into the power of right now. By trying to forget everything, trying to run from everything, we're never going to do the healing work. All we're doing is we're causing more emotional immaturity. I said we're creating a world full of shamans and godlike personalities who have not yet ever done the work, not yet achieved that level of awakening. But we're going to skip all the work because I don't want to have to deal with life. And we're going to jump it into becoming this, a commercialized world. And so we have to deal with ourselves, but we don't have to keep going back down. You don't have to go back down into the foundation to heal the foundation. From where you are today, see yourself as beautiful, wonderful. You are okay. You're just doing the work that you need to do to be able to move forward and to be able to embrace. No, you got to go back and watch the whole video today, Gail. This is a blessing and a healing in here today. And so from beginning to end, you're truly here today to be able to embody that you are a blessing. And that's the blessing, that's the mirror reflection today, is that I want you to be able to see yourself as the blessing, as that beautiful child of God, consciousness, whatever God means to you. You turn it into whatever word you want, rock, moon, stars, I don't care. It don't matter to me. I'm not living your life. You are. And so this is about you being able to bring it home to you. Come back into here today. And as you see yourself as the blessing, this is how we return to grace. This is how we return to dignity, to finding that sense of integrity, to returning strength and courage into the whole world as a whole, into humanity as a whole. And we stop this big ass fight that we have going on of where the whole world is responsible for the pain that may have been inflicted upon a story that no longer exists within your world today. Because not saying your pain is not real, not saying this, but the experience itself is not here right now. The after effects is here. It's like an earthquake. The after effects is still here. But we can't deal with those things if we don't bring it home to us. You can't allow your heart to get the healing that it needs if you are away from you. And allowing yourself to be home to you and to come home to you is soul connection. And that's what I'm speaking about. That's what my new goddess course that I have coming out, the Soul Revival, is this one. The last one was about picking up the pieces of us. This one is about soul language. And our beautiful next card is the Soul Connection, which is Vedoma. If you want to hear and connect to what it is that you want your love to hear from your loved ones, what you want to connect and you want to feel your loved ones, you want to feel that God consciousness, you want to feel that world, you are not going to feel it. You're not going to experience it. You're not going to connect to it when you are operating on those lower vibrating energies. If you're playing in the muck, if you're in the darkness, you can't see the light. You forget that it's light. And all of those who loved us, who have passed before us, they all live within the light. They don't drop down to us. They wait for us to reach up for them by looking up to the top, by seeing that there is still light, and by doing the work. The healthier that you are, the more beautiful you are living within yourself, the more beautiful the connection that you will have to your loved ones on the other side, the more connection you will have to the spirit world, to your soul self, to your truth, and the more in alignment you will be with you. Living this middle road, there's a lot of room here for a lot of us to get here. And if more and more of us can come back here, the more beautiful our world will become. There is a possibility of a beautiful tomorrow. There is possibility of peace in the world, but we cannot go there until we stop being at war. And when we stop being at war with ourselves, when we stop being at war with our egos, our identity, our need for a top rating, to be a number one, to be a number one news station, and to destroy everyone else, to be that, is that you will have to look at the collateral damage that's left behind, whether it's inside of you or within the world. It is time for us today to find that peace. Come home to you, bring it into you, bring it back in here first. So if you notice the numbers, you just cannot make this shit up. Is anybody looking at the numbers of the card? 42, 24. Can't make this up. 44, 22. 42 is the wisdom of the crone. She is telling us, she's giving us the blessing. She's telling us that no matter where we've been, we've all done this. We've all been there. And so if you look at Vedoma, She is 24. She is awakening to the awareness of that she cannot stay in her shadow. She can't have her shitty attitude. She can't come from that place to be able to live a life in the light and love and to be able to connect to spirit. Anybody can read anyone else's energy. Being that whole read somebody's mind. If you're trying to read somebody's mind, you are not reading the truth. Just to let you know, if you're reading the mind, you are reading the collective stories that that person has lived within. So you're reading the stories that what they've created. You're reading how they've taken imagination and turned it to reality. If you want to know truth, if you want to speak truth, if you want to live in truth, if you want to be there, that's what the middle road is. It's that this spirit world is unconditional. It has no room to tell a lie. It has truth. And so the power is in the Trinity, which is the power of 3, which is also the 6s that we have today. 4224. Bring it back home today. Bring it back into you to where you start to lose yourself, where you felt it, and allow yourself to just be. Yes, let it be. And this is the beautiful message. And we're going to validate this with one last card before I go, because I do have a client this morning. And so for all who helped me yesterday, thank you very much. And so last message is the diamond effect, which is 23, which is a 5, which would be transformation. Or it's a 1. So 23. And so the diamond effect that comes up. This beautiful card is actually my newest program that I'm going to be launching in April. It won't be taught until probably the end of April, beginning of May. So it gives people time to think about signing up. It's going to be a 12-week program, but this diamond effect to outgrowth effects. And so everything that we experience, every time that we make a choice to turn towards the light and love, is that it gives us the opportunity to change the direction of the course so that we can start to come back home to us. Is that if you play your cards right, and if you play your cards not to manipulate your own energy or to manipulate a truth, that you can start to allow yourself to start to win the game of life, to find the win. You're not going to win it all. We're no way to win it all. There's no way to perfect it all. And there's no way of preventing life from happening. Life is going to happen with or without you. As much as you try to hide your family, as much as you try to hide away, life is going to happen. So this whole fear that we have bought into, that we could die, well, we could die any single moment of every single day. We are missing out on life. We're missing out on the opportunities to live because we stop living. And either which way, whether you got to wear a mask or not, today is the day that you have to start to find that breath again, connect back to it. And this is beautiful. 4th dimensional, and all of my logo of More Than Existing is the diamond. Everything that I do is created in my work of the diamond effects. And so all of the diamond effect work that I will be producing in a class that will be coming up will be a 12-week program where I'm going to bring people through the ascension process of ascending, of awakening, of learning to speak the new language, the language of our soul, to connection, to mapping out your journey, to all of those things. It will be 12 weeks. That one is coming up as well. But this beautiful card, I could not make her up today. You notice that she really doesn't look like a lot of other cards. She is a painting that is done with chalk. So she is done with chalk. Remember being a kid and you could go down the streets and you could draw out a whole world out on the sidewalk. And when you go out in the spring and you see it, so you can draw out, you can start to imagine a future, and then the rain will come and then it'll wash it all away. Well, that's kind of the spring showers that we're putting over you today. Today, you can take chalk, you can draw, it's like a Buddha board. You can write anything that you want on a Buddha board, and then it fades away. Let it go. So even that dream desire of your dreams, whatever it may be, you can plan it, you can put out, don't get caught up in holding on to with such grip on what you think your world should look like, what you think your life should look like. You need to just know that what is designed for us, what will be best for us, if you hold on to that hope and faith and you start looking towards the light, is that those things will start to come. This is not easy. I'm not going to tell you this world has been easy or this life's been easy, but damn well been worth it. And so as you start to look at this and just think of that kid with the chalk, they're so excited. And then we let it go. And they don't get up and get angry that it just washed away. They know they have more chalk. They know they have the opportunity to go out and write all that all over again and put it all out there again. Today is a new opportunity. Every moment is a new opportunity. Tomorrow is a new day. Today we wash away. Today we take the moment in peace. This weekend we take time in that peace and sit in that beautiful energy. And then tomorrow will also be a new day. It is a rebirth. And so after any birth, after we give birth to any new ideas, it's not about putting it all out there right away. It's about allowing it to incubate, allowing it to sit in that beautiful energy, to hold it as your own. Bring that home. Find the peace within. And that's the beautiful message for today. Much love to you all. Thank you for being here with me. For those who stay till the end, I'm honored you stay till the end. I'm very thankful for those who can stay, and for those watching later, thank you also for staying till the end. I much appreciate your love, your support. And please remember, if you do get any of that spam, don't answer it, because I would not be sending you those, and I will not do that to you. So much, much love. Report them, report them, report them, report them. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Much, much love. Many blessings to you all today. Bye-bye.